So, good afternoon, everyone. I am Pallavi Agarwal from Capricorn Technologies. So, welcome to the Capricorn workshop on Autodesk Construction Cloud Build. Today, we'll discuss an overview of Build. So, this is a series of workshop wherein in today's session, we will discuss the overview of what is Autodesk Construction Cloud, what is Autodesk within that, what is Autodesk Build, and we'll start with the introduction of Autodesk Docs. So this is the first workshop of four series, after which every Wednesday the consecutive series will happen in which we'll cover the part of Autodesk Build wherein we'll cover about project management. That includes your request for information, also known as RFI, submittals, how do you log your minutes of meetings, how do you keep a track of all the agendas in the minutes of meetings, when you work in the project, how do you create those daily reports at site, and how do you share those details with your different team members, project managers, and how do you progress tracking. So while at the construction stage, there are a lot of progresses in the project that we need to manage. So how do we do that? Then in the other session, we'll talk about quality and safety management, where we'll see how do we create different various type of quality and safety forms, checklists that we have within an organization, and on day-to-day basis, how are they being filled and monitored and reposited on a cloud platform, and it becomes easy for all the stakeholders to get the overview of what is happening at the site at the real-time updation in the cloud platform. Towards the end of this series, we'll see how do we manage our cost, that is cost management. There are a lot of different types of contracts do we have in the projects, and then we have a associated budget to the project, which we have to keep track of. We have a lot of monthly bills that we generate, change orders, cost managements, forecasting that we have to do. So how do we track all these, keeping all these stakeholders together on the same unified platform through cost management in Autodesk Build? If I talk about today's session, today's agenda, we will begin with the introduction and welcome note by Mr. Shantanu Jain, after which we will talk about the construction industry challenges and how ACC, that is Autodesk Construction Cloud, we can solve with them. So Mr. Shantanu will take you to the challenges of the industry and the solutions that we provided through Build, with the overview of Build. And then towards the mid of the session, we'll go on Autodesk Docs, which is the base forum or the foundation of Construction Cloud, where we'll see how do we manage documents and how do we manage all our stakeholders on the same platform. Towards the end, we'll have a 15 minutes Q&A session wherein your doubts will be taken up. You can put in the questions, queries throughout the session in the Q&A chat box, and we'll be able to answer them towards the end of the session. And we close the session with the vote of thanks. So before we begin with the workshop, we need to understand the intent, that why are we keeping this workshop for Autodesk Build? What is the requirement? So nowadays, when we see that COVID has just come up, the pandemic has been pandemic, we are still in that phase. We are in hybrid mode. Some are going to the office, but most of them are still working remote. So everything, especially the AEC industry or the construction industry, has slowed down. A lot of projects are delayed, time overrun, cost overruns. These are due to the older or the primitive communication methods that we have been using, are emails, phone calls, WhatsApps, which creates duplicacies in data. And that leads to lack of coordination between all the stakeholders in the project which are involved. And since we are placed geographically at different locations, it becomes even more difficult in these challenging times. So we are not very sure how to bring them on a track together. What is the right tool for it? What is the right solution to bring in all together? But to give an example, for example, banks, they hardly took a day or two to come back on track when it was COVID, due to their advancement in the technology of advancement of the adoption of this cloud-based technology, wherein people were able to get back on track through internet. So again, when I specifically talk about construction industry, there are different stakeholders, let's say the owners, consultants, and contractors. So they are now in the phase of adopting technology, but they are still working in silos, that is, or I should say lonely BIM. For example, one organization will have their set of technology advancement, one organization will have their set of technology infrastructure, which are not still linked together. So when a projects get executed, everybody has their different sets of technology infrastructures which do not link to the project, which again leads to a lot of delays and duplicacies. So how do we overcome those challenges? We will see through this solution that how are we able to come out of that silo-based technology adoption. So the objective here is to spread awareness and bust myths about BIM, that is building information modeling. What exactly is building information modeling? What is cloud? How do we work with these? And what are the preconceived notions that we have about BIM, which are not right maybe? And show it through Autodesk Construction Cloud Build, that how is it helping in simplifying the processes and managing the project in these challenging times, or let's say in general also, not this challenging time, that I would say this is the need of the hour and the advancement of the future that we have. Before we start with the introduction, I would like to just take a small audience poll so that we understand the background of our participants here in the audience, which will help us in driving the conversation or driving the workshop in that direction. So kindly fill in the audience poll. I'll take another 10-15 seconds on the screen. We'll take another 10 seconds for the audience poll. Okay. So I think if if my screen is visible to you, most of us here are a bunch of engineers, project managers, and architects. Students as well are there. So it will be easy for us to explain because a lot of us are there from the site. We are project managers and engineers, so we know the day-to-day challenges. And with the mixed set of people around us, we'll be able to easily understand that different set of roles and different set of responsibilities. How do they come together on the single platform? And will have a more comprehensive set of learning through this tool. So moving on, I would like to welcome Mr. Shitanshu Jain, a BIM expert from Autodesk Construction Cloud. He'll give you an overview of Autodesk Construction Cloud and about Cape Record. Sir, over to you.
Thank you, Pallavi. I'm just sharing my presentation. Please confirm if it is visible.
Yes. Yeah, yes, it is visible.
Okay. Give me a second. Yeah. So thank you, Pallavi. First of all, let me welcome everyone who is present on this workshop. A very grateful invite to all. So today, the objective is to share what is new in the industry, especially from the silos of Autodesk, which most of the people who are present in this call might be using in some form or the other for ages. So today we are going to present more around how the cloud collaboration in construction and design is changing the industry. So just a little snippet about Capricorn. So we are one of the leading design and construction management technology solution providers for the industry. And we here for more than 30 years with our focused team around technology for the construction industry. We are Autodesk Platinum partner with authorized training center. That means all our people who are present in this call and otherwise our team has an expertise on solutions around Autodesk, how they're implemented. They have project and industry experiences. That we are here to solve your challenges which you face on your projects, whether be in design side, construction, or coordination, and how you can leverage the technology to resolve these challenges and to make your team more productive and have better outputs across the life cycle of the project. So we are present across India from cities of Delhi, Bangalore, Mumbai, Hyderabad, Jaipur. But because of today's technology intervention Geography is not is a challenge, and we have been delivering services across the world from India, and we have BIM experts from multiple domains of architecture, structure, MEP, construction, quantification, etc. And so whatever is a domain, whatever is a challenge in whichever domain, we are here to solve it. We work with some of the largest organizations in the country which are using BIM and leveraging BIM on their projects, like Delhi Metro, Chennai Metro, Indian Railways, and etc., which are the large scale infrastructure projects which have leveraged the technology to make it simpler for them, or to at least more simpler for them to work and to deliver and to have better coordination and collaboration on their projects. So we have been working both on the software and the delivery side, helping these organizations move towards the collaborative environments. So first, starting with what are the challenges are nowadays in the industry. This is something I believe most of you would already know about, but it's more to absorb and look at it from a high level, that nowadays, day by day, the margins in the industry are decreasing, absolutely like going down and down every day. We have tight schedules, so all our projects are time bound, especially if I talk about, for example, the housing or the real estate projects. Most are now bound by RERA guidelines, so we have schedules, we cannot deviate from them. And when I talk about the organizations, how they deliver the projects, so right now there is siloed information, for example, say between design and construction. But apart from that, even within the design teams or within the construction teams, there's a lot of silo, and the information is not able to flow effectively between the stakeholders. Then nowadays, if one of the biggest challenges which we are facing on site is labor shortage. So when during seasonal timings and all, we have labor shortages on site, where most people are trying to move towards prefabrication or precast to resolve this. Then nowadays, especially in Delhi NCR, we also have a problem of pollution, because of which the construction is halted for a certain time in the year. So effectively in a year, the construction halts, or there's no activity which can take on site because of one or the other issues, which leads to a lot of uncertainty and planning changes. So what if we can resolve all of these issues even before we go on site? What if we have, if today, if I'm starting a project, I can have increased collaboration. I can see, okay, how my project is going to proceed. I have all the data, all the information about my project in one single point of truth, and all the stakeholders, whether it be internal to my organization or external, who are my stakeholders like designers, whether they are in India, whether in my city, outside India, or if they are my contractors, my subcontractors, they're able to access and add information on one single platform. So, so there has been a gradual change around this. So almost 30 years back, or in early 90s, we left our drawing boards and moved to 2D. And then over last 10-15 years, from 2D to BIM. But that was more of a digitization process. But now this is my belief that this particular decade, that is 2020 to 2030, is going to be an era of transformation. Now, what I believe, nobody needs to know what BIM is, but how it can be implemented, how it is going to change my organization. That is somebody everyone is thinking about. And this decade, this next 10 years, people will look at options of moving this BIM to cloud, or having a more collaborative and a collaboration platform in which I can have all my stakeholders and converge on one single particular point and have a better coordination and project control. And of course, and going forward, it will become more of dynamic interactions between all the stakeholders. So I don't have to wait for an email or a hard copy of a drawing or a model to see what is happening. Whatever I can, in real time, I can see what is happening on my project, be it during the design phase or the construction, and then operations and maintenance phase of the project. So with this, I would like to invite Mr. Chakresh Jain, Chairman Capricot, just to give an overview about why BIM has been adopted so much by the industry, and what are the benefits of it?
Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome. I'll not take much time. I know we are here to work on the workshop, so we'll just have just few high-level thoughts which thought I like to share with everyone. And as a part of the construction industry now for more than 30 years, we have been supporting all of you. But one of the things which has been researched and been highlighted again and again in the industry is that the productivity in the industry has not been increasing. And this graph highlights that from last so many years. If you look at the brown graph of the construction, it is at the bottom of the graph. So we haven't been able to improve the productivity in our construction industry. Whereas if you compare it with an equivalent industry, which is manufacturing, they have been able to improve their own productivity. So we know like what Shitanshu just highlighted, so many challenges which are there in the construction industry. But out of that, one of the biggest challenge I like to highlight, and which kind of affects all the professional in the industry, if we have to increase our own income level, and if we have to increase for that, you have to increase the productivity. And we know very well any market always recognize any industry which is increasing the productivity. If you look at any industry today, and if you look at their share value, only for the industry which are improving productivity, they get lapped up by the market. And that's not been happening in the construction industry. It is one of the big laggers. So I'm just leaving you with the problem, and of course the solutions are multiple. I'm not saying there is one solution, but the problems I'm just trying to highlight. The second biggest, if you look at the number of organizations which have to come together to deliver a project in a construction industry, if you compare it to any other industry, this is the most diverse industry. So that's why there is a huge challenge in terms of coordination and collaboration. It's a highly collaborative industry, but because of the number of people required, there are always communication gap which happens. And if you can compare to most of the other industry, they do have some big focal point around which it develops, but it's not there in the construction industry. So one of the big, so just highlighting these two problems, not highlighting many multiple problems, the solution for that is what we are today referring to as common data environment. Or what we need to do, if Shitanshu, you can move to the next slide. We need to do is centralize the information. And today, fortunately, with the good internet speed available to everyone on even mobile devices, we can easily do that. And what we are presenting in a way is leveraging these centralized data approach such that there is no communication gap. Everyone is always working and referring to most updated and current information. And more processes now are moving from my desktop, what I used to traditionally do on my desktop, moving to a cloud kind of a thing. So today I'll not take much time. I just wanted to just leave everyone with this thought that the basic question I wanted to address was how do I improve my productivity of my team, myself, my organization, and the industry. And then to do that, one of the big solution available today is have a centralized data approach, or CDE, so common data environment. So with that, I like to hand over to the next person. Shitanshu, back to you.
Yeah, yeah, thank you. So exactly what you mentioned about common data environment, and this has been a big problem in the industry for eons now, that we have so many different stakeholders across the project's life cycle, starting from planning, design, and building. Even during construction, we have so many stakeholders. There's a disconnect between how the data is flowing. What if we can have something that connects all the stakeholders together on one single platform, and not only as a communication channel? How do I have all the drawings, models, all the stakeholders, all the team members, all the final O&M assets, and then all the data around them? For example, what is the cost of each and every item over there, and put them on one single data which is connected to each other, the concerned person in a particular organization can have access to his part, but whatever action one person takes, because it has repercussions on the other, or because it has impact on the others, it will automatically improve the productivity and hence the outputs of the project. So this is where, as a common data environment, Autodesk Build comes into picture. So the objective and the basic premise of Build is that how on one single platform, I connect all my teams, have workflows. Those could be approval workflows, review workflows, transmittals, etc. on one single platform. And then ultimately, because of this, because my data is in one place, I am able to leverage that in my projects. So this particular solution, which is a part of Autodesk Construction Cloud, which is overall for designers, contractors, owners, and quantity estimators, how it can be used across the project life cycle of designing, planning, building, and operations. So during this workshop, this is what our team would be trying to cover up, and we would be more than happy to take up any Q&As from the present audience around how this can help you. So just a little bit more detail about what is Autodesk Construction Cloud. Technically, what are the solutions present in it? What are the features of it at a very high level? So primarily, Autodesk Construction Cloud has 3 modules or 3 user-based functions. So one is Autodesk BIM Collaborate, which is more oriented towards designers. So this is more towards for a designer who is working either on CAD or on Revit, how to have a live synchronization of his drawings online, so that it can be reviewed, it can be done markup, reviews, etc. online on the browser itself. The second one is Autodesk Takeoff, which is more oriented towards quantity estimators, in which within the browser they can do quantity takeoff from the model or PDFs. And then, of course, the third one, which is more on for the focus of this workshop, is Autodesk Build, in which I have the functionalities of project management, cost management, quality, safety, and etc. And the common linkage between all the 3 platforms is the document management system, or Autodesk Docs, which we are going to cover today. This is, I believe, the most critical form or the most critical part of any platform, which is document management, because if I have this covered, and if this becomes a starting point and I'm able to do this effectively in my organization, rest of the things automatically, depending on the user, will fall into place. So today, our team will focus primarily on the how Autodesk Build, within Autodesk Build, how document management and administration can be done, how it can be leveraged by our teams, how it can be implemented. And again, I invite everyone to please ask any questions. You can put your questions in Q&A box, and our team would be more than happy to take them up. So Pallavi, over to you.
Thank you, sir. So I'll again share my screen. I hope that my screen is now visible. Yeah.
Yes.
So now, thank you, sir. So now when we talk about Autodesk Build, as Mr. Shantu rightly mentioned, that today's focus will be on Autodesk Build, but the base of it, that is the foundation for any process in construction or any activity, is the documentation. How do we control the information that we have in a project which lasts for, let's say, even more than years or 2 years or 5 years? When this scale of projects we have with us, document control is one of the crucial features that we have. Also, to manage those documents on a platform where all the stakeholders are brought together, we need to be sure that what are the controls that the team has with them, or the project managers has the rights in them, so that they can control the viewing or the activities within document management. So these kind of processes are quite essential when we talk about any life cycle processes in constructions. To begin with, we will today focus on document management. What is Autodesk Docs? How do we create multiple files, folders, add members in the project, and what all are the details that we can work with in that particular set of module. So to start with, we'll see that how are we going into the platform first. It is a browser-based platform, so you not need to have anything installed within your systems. You just have to type in your browser Autodesk Construction Cloud, and with a simple login, you can enter into the platform directly. So this gives you a ease of working with internet at different geographic locations, at different spaces, in different set of times. In this, when you have entered into the platform, you will have the access to all the projects that you have for part of. You will work with those projects, you will enter into that project, and you can see the entire interface of the solution, which we'll discuss. So now when you have entered into the interface of the solution and you have selected your project, you will see the interface of build. This is the interface of build, in which we will today cover files and the home tab. So we'll see that how are we creating folders and marking with them. But in the subsequent sessions of this webinar or this workshop, we'll see different features of build, which are request for information, forms, issues, submittals. Submittals are all those things which is like all your documentation or all your documents with a set of information, let's say specifications, and how do you share it with your team members. How do you restore your minutes of meetings? How do you create agendas in cloud, and how do you manage those agendas and keep a track of it? And similarly, how do you create your assets and track your schedules made in the different scheduling tools? And then we'll see how do we work with reports. Before that, so this, when I talk about docs, so this is the interface of docs, that is Autodesk Docs. So we can see over here that there are files, that is project files, wherein all your files get stored. We can create multiple folder structures, we can add multiple members in the folders, and not just that, we'll be able to create approval workflows. Now, for example, it's not just your repository of the documents that you create. You can also create virtual document approval workflows, wherein different stakeholders and different workflows can be created within different teams. And within these teams, it will be easy for you to flow the information from one person to another on a single platform without keep creating the duplicate copies of files and writing emails, because this platforms give you the access, direct link with your email IDs, and you will receive auto-generated emails in such processes. You can create e-transmitters. These transmitters are very important. Conventionally, when we see at site, when we submit a drawing, we have those memos with us. The person who delivers the drawings at site, they get a receiving from the site and all those things. They are all hard copies, and you have to store them at the end, and those becomes a challenge at the end, towards the end of the project. So you have e-transmittals again, which we'll see in the session today. You can again create a lot of issues and markups in here, which we'll discuss in the subsequent slides. Before that, when we talk about administrative activities or the administrative rights of the project, we need to be clear that whom are we adding into the project, with what set of information level that they're having access to. That means the permission control, so that the information that we are adding or the members that we are adding also are defined with the limitations or the permissions that they have for the project. So in document management, I have just gone to members and I'm trying to add a new member into the project, specifying the level of information they will receive within the project. So I have added my colleague, Mr. Abhishek, into the project with an account admin settings, and I am giving him the project administrator rights with the different set of approaches to the different tools within the platform. So I've given access to build to him, and now when I have given him the access, so he's now the project member. So that gives me a status of who is the project member, what are their credentials. So let's keep a pause over here. So we'll see who's the project member, what is their information, that is their email IDs, or which company do they belong to. As we said that there will be number of stakeholders present in the project, what are their specific roles, and what are the excess level of information that they will have within the project, whether they are working within the project right now or not, and when were they added. Similarly, here on the left right hand side, we can see on the screen that they have the access level of a project administrator. That means he also, along with me, will be able to add new members into the project and gives rights to them. So this is again an administrative level activity which we'll have to perform at the initial stages of the project while creating the project. And then we'll give them access to different modules within Autodesk Construction Cloud platform to again bifurcate the level of information each person is having or the duty each person is assigned to. So this we'll see more in depth when we go into the live demonstration, then how are we working with these activities. If let's say if I go on to settings as a project admin again, and I have to change the information of the project. So I can go to the settings, I will work with the another set of informations like address, start and date, or maybe the project value that you want to put in so that you can keep a track of all the activities within the project. Now in here, let's say if we are here and we want to again check in what is the list of the project, where are we going in the project. So I simply I have different set of projects with me as a project admin or as a project member. I will be assigned not just to one project, but multiple projects in an organization. So I choose my set of projects from here, and from there I go to document management, which we'll see today that how I'll be going to create all these. When I go inside the files, I can see that I can add multiple folders over in the document management. We'll see today how are we able to create these folders. So let's say if you want to create a hierarchy of folders or a folder with subfolders and all those kind of activities. So it is very easy within the cloud platform that you can create folders, and it is advised to have it done at the earlier stages of the project. That is when you are implementing this tool or getting started with the tool. But even during the project, we have this capability of again making the projects or modifying the files and folders within the project. So these we are capable of. Also adding members to this. So now we can see that we have created multiple folders and subfolders in the project over here. And in the later stage over here, let's say I'll go back of it again. So we can add different members in the folders now. One level, what we have done it as a project admin, we have added different members in the project. Now we'll have to add them in different folders also, because that is where we are bifurcating them with the information that they will have. Architecture team will have access to the architecture folder, structure team will have access to the structure folder, the site specific team for at the construction stage, which will come at the later stages of the project, will then be added in that particular folder. Again, specifying the level of information that they will be shared with. So again, now I have to add Abhishek here in the project if he has access at a project member level, and then I will define the level of permission that he will have within that folder. So that folder that he will have access to again will have a set of limitations. For example, you don't want that person to edit any file or download any file, just view the files. So those kinds of informations we can edit over here in documents. And you can also keep on checking these information in the later stages of the project, as in when new member comes to the project. Then we'll again see today that how can we upload different set of files. So it supports multiple set of file formats. Let's say we are there in the architecture file format and architecture file folder, and we want to upload different files. So this can be a Revit file, this can be a PDF, but AutoCAD file, or a DWG file, any sort of file. It can be even a video or a JPEG, depending on the type of documents that we have within the system. And at the same time, I can add multiple files in different folders, and with the good internet speed, these files will get uploaded in the cloud in no time. And it will also give you a set of information that who has uploaded this file or what is this file about. So I know the folder, I know the file name, I know when is it updated, whom is it updated by, all these set of informations. That again gives us a track or helps us in keeping a track of what all information is being updated by who. Because if it is a cloud platform, you need to keep a check of what is happening at which stage in the file or in the project. So these are also telling you when is the file updated, is it the recent file that you have uploaded in the folders or not. when you are there in the file, you will need to see that how are you working with the files, or what is the version of the file. Version is again a revision. So we will see how are we working with revisions. For example, let's say at the each stage of design, or within this different stages of designing or construction, there are a lot of changes that happens at very frequent pace in the project life cycle. So you need to manage those changes, you need to manage those files, which we conventionally have a folder with hundreds of files and hundreds of revision, and we lack at managing the information at in what file what changes were there, and how we have to compare those files, and we have to go back to the earlier revision of file. So this we can manage within Autodesk Docs, and then we'll work with it. So let's say if we are here in a model, it's a live model here. For this, we do not need a Revit software altogether. Within the cloud platform, we're able to view the model in cloud. And what I'm able to do over here is I can view the file of latest version. I can view the information. I can bifurcate these levels. I can select a specific level to view a file. And also I have all the information stored with me within the platform, so that whatever model was modeled in Revit and I have bought it in cloud. So I'm able to view what all exactly information is there that the model element carries. I can have a quick measurement done on the system. I can have a different sectioning view done in the system like this. So we can, again, there are different model browser layers which are there, and if you want to switch off any layer and then have a different set of view within the model. So those things are also possible like this. Again, when we're talking about versions or revisions, which we conventionally talk, so how do we compare a file with different set of versions that we were discussing? So if there are two versions which is there and you want to check what all are the updates that has happened from the previous file to new file, so you can simply compare any two files within the platform, and not just 3D models, it is both 2D and 3D. So let's say in this specific model, there are almost hundreds of changes which are there. And if I filter it to a removed set of folder elements which were removed from the folder, so I can compare in version 1 what elements were there, and in version 2 what elements have been removed and modified. So all these elements which are in red color, we can see the information here in the information tab. What is the element, what is the information, and it is now not there in the updated revision. We will talk about issues and markups. How can we create issues within a folder? What do I mean by issues? Issues are like, for example, you spot a specific set of issue in your file or in your drawing, and you want to convey this information to the team member there in the who's responsible for this set of changes. So you can directly go and assign them a set of issue. Let's say it can be a design issue or a clash issue. So you specify the type of issue to sort your information in a better manner. So because there can be different type of problems within the project at different stages of time. And then you can assign a person with that specific issue and with that specific timeline in which you want a response from that person, which we'll again today see in the live session. So without wasting much time, I would like to hand over my screen to Mr. Abhishek Mukherjee for the live demonstration. Abhishek, over to you.
Okay, thank you, Pallavi.
Thank you.
I'll share my screen.
Yes.
Yeah, I hope my screen is visible. Pallavi, can you confirm?
Yes, it is visible.
Okay, thank you. So, hello everyone. I'm Abhishek. I'm a BIM specialist architect here at Capricorn Technologies. And today I'll be taking you through the demonstration of ACC. If I click on acc.autodesk.com/projects, instead, if I just click on this, then also it will take me to the first project page from where I need to select the project. So this project is basically a master folder where all the files will be there. And from there, we can do the specific tasks which we were talking about, which Pallavi has highlighted in the videos and PPT. So this is saying Autodesk Construction Cloud on the top left. On the top right are my credentials. And here is the project list of all the projects which we have under a specific account that is a company. So your company XYZ, they may have various projects which you are doing, you are initiating, all of them will be listed in a specific repository, which is this one. And I need to open a specific project, let's say this one, and directly jump onto the folder and subfolder. So project creation is something for an account admin. An account admin is the administrator of that account. They will be creating the project and then handing it over to the project admin. Now the project admin will create all the folders, subfolder, give the permission to various people. And from then onwards, we'll start with the, uploading the files and then giving permissions and all. So all of these are part of project admin. So now I see that there are two folders. One is for the field and project files. These two folders are already accessible to us. And then there may be various folders depending on your workflow. That is, let's say there is a design stage called design development. Then there will be an execution stage. In the middle also, there may be various other stages like tender, GFCs. There may be few stages before design development like concept. So these are all folders and subfolders which can directly be created by clicking on here. There are three dots over here. If you have the rights to create the folder, that is the rights to edit the space, then you can just click on add subfolder. That subfolder may be a subfolder called, let's say, concept stage. So this may be a concept stage for this particular project. There may be some files over here. Now, whenever we talk about the design development folder, usually this is the place where everyone, or basically all the consultants, are actively involved in the project. So maybe in the concept stage, only the architects are there. And then maybe in the design development stage, the MEP consultants, architects, interior consultants, landscape, project managers, everybody gets involved over here. Even the vendors are involved. So at that point of time, we create as per ISO standards, work in progress architecture, work in progress MEP, and work in progress structure folders. These are the basic folders which we create. Inside of MEP also, if there are various other disciplines that we can create, like let's say firefighting, let's say some other departments are there like CCTV. Every folder can be created over here and specific files need to be uploaded in that folder. Now, how is this different from any other drive space, you may say? You may say that this I could do in Google Drive also, I can do this in OneDrive as well. But OneDrive and Google Drive do not have the option, the basic facility of opening a file made in Revit or AutoCAD. They usually open PDFs or DWGs only. So in work in progress architecture, I have a lot of files over here. This is a CAD file. This will open up without having a software in your system, that is without having AutoCAD in your system. I can open a Revit project as well. I can open Excel file, make changes to it, save it back again. But the Revit and the AutoCAD files which are there, I need to just upload them either by dragging and dropping, that is one way of uploading, or I can just click on upload files and it will take me to a path and folder where I can choose from my computer. So this is the process by which we have uploaded files. Now, who has uploaded what file, what is there in the file, everything can be viewed over here. If I go for work in progress architecture and select, let's say, this Civic Center, then I'll be able to open this architectural model of Civic Center by just clicking. Now, no matter how heavy the file is, all of the files will open up here in the cloud because we are actually using the bandwidth of the internet instead of using the RAM in your PC. So irrespective of how heavy the model is, it will by default open up and show you how it is looking over here. So this is the Revit model, which I guess Pallavi has uploaded. So it is saying this is version number 2. That is, this is the second revision of that file. There may be a first revision of that file also. Plus you are able to see the model scroll in, scroll out, orbit, pan, and you are able to even, see what is inside of this file as well. But of course, that is not enough to take decisions. So ACC is basically a reviewer's tool as well. Whenever there is someone who is uploading the file, there may be the other person who is reviewing. So here, anyone can review by going to these particular options. So the one which we were using is orbit and pan. Apart from that, we can also just zoom into a particular area. Like let's say I want to zoom into this particular area and see some fixing details of this. And then later on, I want to scroll out of that. So here I have the option for fit to view, and I'll be able to fit to this view very easily. Plus for zooming in, I have two options. One is just the scroll in, scroll out zoom, and the second one is the zoom window. So I'll be able to easily, zoom into any extent possible and just see maybe this kind of spider fitting which is available over here. So I'll be able to multiply my zoom because of course these are all vector softwares, vector based, they will not pixelate. So then I can obviously go back. So any detail which I want to zoom in and see, I'll be able to see very effectively and efficiently without having much lag. Now I'll be also able to walk inside the model, which is one of the best features. Even though I don't open this model in the software, I'll be able to walk inside the model. So when I click on the first person view, it will open up some of the options to navigate. Like I can walk, I can move up and down, I can teleport around, and it will also show me a mini map of where I'm actually standing. So I can just go inside the building, look somewhere, maybe look this side, and then I can just say, okay, got it. So it will take me to a level where I'm standing. Right now I'm in the roof level. So I can just change the level to maybe let's say level 3. So what is there in level 3? This is level 3. There are some furnitures. I'm being able to see that there's this conference table over here. I can walk forward, move out of the conference room, and I have to hold still. Of course, it's a heavy model. And I'm being able to see all the furniture. I'm being able to see, the corridor over here. And I'm being able to see the false ceiling of the lights associated with that. And then I'm also being able to see the column. At any point of time, I can measure any of these things. Of course, it does take some time to process based on my internet speed. It is, either processing or not processing. So if I want to measure any dimension, I'll be able to do that over here as well. So to measure a dimension over here, I'm just going to just click on this ruler. This is called the measure tool. And this measure tool will be basically this tool which we'll be using for area measurement, single dimension measurement, and then the other measurements as well. So if I click over here, any point over here, then I'll be able to see what measurement it is. This is 0.9 feet approximately. So I just need to change the dimension of the measurement with measurement settings. Instead of decimal feet, I'll go to millimeters maybe. And then I'll be able to see that how much they have given, this person has given for the measurement. I can measure anything in the 3D. Of course, the area measurement is specifically for the plan views, the plans in essentially Revit, but we can also measure CAD. So I'll hit escape twice or thrice. I can look on up. I can look right. I can look left. I'll be able to, enter any room, and then maybe I want to see this model, and then I need to mark some changes. So how do I do that? For that, I would probably require some sectional analysis. That sectional analysis is possible from here. So I can cut a X section, Y section, as well as a Z section, or I can also cut a section box. So the people who are reviewing and just making markups, they need not use emails anymore. They can just use this space to actually look at the model and then also do some markup. So if I just, go for fit to view, I'll be able to just go and then see the section and then do a sectional box. Then the section box, of course, I'll be able to see what this model is, how it's looking like. So apart from this, if you see that there is some kind of skewness in the section box, then we can obviously go for a section plane rather than a section box. So let's say I want an X plane, or let's say I want a Z plane. That would be a best option. Yeah. So now I'll be able to, go down and then cut the entire model and then try to see the section. And if I have any problems within this section, then I can directly, notify it. Let's say that I do not like that there are, this probably this area is not perfect. Then I can just go and then say that please review this. But how do I say that? For that, I can create an issue. So what is an issue? An issue is basically a thing which we create for notifying others that, okay, there's a problem with this model. Please have a look. So I'll just say issue. I can say this is a design issue. And then I need to click or pinpoint on the location. Automatically an issue will be created where I can change the title of the issue, change the description of the issue, change who it is assigned to. So all the people over here are people who I can assign the issue to. Let's say I want to assign the issue to Pallavi. Now Pallavi will get assigned this issue. She will receive an email, and after receiving the email, she is going to solve the issue. I can specify a due date by which Pallavi needs to assign the solve the issue by, let's say 17th of December. And then I can just add any references for these things. So let's say I want to add a photo, I can add that also. I can also add some comments and then say that please review. And then I can just submit it. So there can be multiple issues within a file. There will be multiple issues within a file. And all these issues can be checked from one single point after we close the model. We'll go there and then see. And now I can fit it to view. And then I see that there are 3 issues in the model. If I go to the top left-hand side, I have the option for sheets and views. So it's basically a 2D and 3D environment. If we have published the sheets from the 2D view, there will be some sheets over here also. But right now, this only has the 3D model. So maybe in some other model, I'll be able to show you the sheets. Here we have the issues column also. So all the issues which are open, some of the issues which have also have been solved will be, or maybe they are in review, will be available over here. So I can open an issue called light fixture. And that light fixture issue is in review. So maybe this was in review. I did not solve it. That means I created an issue and I did not, change it to answered or change it to closed. So I can do it over here. So if it was pending, I could have kept it as pending. I can now close the issue. This is how the issues are closed. And then finally, there's this some PDF also associated with this. And I'll say done. So the good part about creating issues over here instead of going for emails is that you can, just directly solve anything over here. Of course, making changes to the model requires a complete software, but all the review and all the things which you do over here will be logged somewhere. So after this is done, I can click on close and then this part is done. Now I can open a CAD file as well. So let's say I'm opening this CAD file and I'll be able to measure some of the areas if it's a floor plan. This is the CAD file for this. I see that there are some options over here. There's something written over here. Please check dimensions, please check. So all of these are basically markups. Now markups are for internal use and for 2D sheets. So let's say that I do not like that there is this dimension line crossing over here. So I can internally specify it that this dimension line is not fine. There will be no email as such which is going. If you want an email also, automated email to go to the person who needs to solve it, then issues is the way out. I can do a cloud markup. So scrolling out and then, maybe this is the area of concern, right? I can edit this cloud as well. I can choose whether I want a black color, red color, any other color, whether I want an opacity more, less, whether I want the border thickness as less, whether the fill is there or not. And then I can, go and then add some links and references. And then I can just say publish. Once it is published, then this will be available for Pallavi also, and all the other project members who have access to this file, they will be able to do it. Now, speaking about access, so access is basically manifold, as in you can have an access to view only, as well as have an access at the other extreme end, that is, you can do everything with the file, including deleting the file. But whenever we talk about deleting the file, we cannot directly delete the file, but it will go to the recycle bin. So therefore, it is good in that way that you cannot permanently delete the file this way. So let's just check out the area for the measurement. So let's say I need to check out any kind of measurement areas, then I can use some of these tools. So here I see that there is this electrical room and all, and I can easily measure some of the things over here. So, okay, now closing this off. If I talk about permissions in detail, then I can always go to work in progress architecture, and from there I can see that the permissions are present. So as I was saying, and Pallavi was also demonstrating, that every project admin will have the manage kind of this thing permission. So if I go to Capricorn Trainee 2, this is one of the other members. This person only has a view option. That is, they can only view the files. They cannot download the files. They cannot delete the files. They cannot move the files. Other person can view, download, publish markups, upload as well. Some other person may be able to go for viewing, downloading, publishing markups, upload and edit. And finally, the admin rights are the full administrative controls. That means they can play around with the folders as well. So similarly, at the design stage of this project, you would need all of these folders and subfolders, including the shared. Now, why is there a shared folder, one may wonder. So that shared folder is for sharing of the files. That means if you go for architecture work in progress, these people are only architects who have the rights to this folder. They don't have the rights to structure folder. So how do they share file? We are avoiding emails because emails are long trails of messages, including all the changes which are required over there. And then someone gets lost inside the email, they have to search for it as well. But here we have created issues and all, which will be with that model. So anyone who is in the work in progress architecture who is having access to this can check that. But the other consultants will not have the work in progress architecture access. So then they have to move it to the shared folder with the help of something called approval workflows. So we'll go for that review system just in a while. So right now I can also go for the structure file, work in progress structure. So now the structure file also has some this thing. I can open up PDF of this. The PDF will also open up. A good part is that PDF opens up in any of the drive spaces, but the good part is it is connected. That means whatever things you do over here, let's say you create an issue, that issue will be logged somewhere. You are able to see it properly, take decisions, and so on. And you can directly print also. So if I click over here, you can directly print this space by going to the three dots and then click, and then you can download this file if you have rights to it. You can share this file with other project members. You can print this file as well. And now let's talk about something else, that is, so I have a lot of things over here. That is the review system, which I was talking about. So the review system will be when I click on reviews, this is called approval workflows. The kind of thing which you used to do when you took a printout and then went to someone else and then they used to check and mark the clouds. And those kind of things are called approval workflows. So here there is an option where we can create a review process. And then these are all the reviews which have been done. So if I go to create a review, I'll be able to add the files from here. So let's say I want to add a file from work in progress architecture. Let's say I want to add 2 or 3 files. I can go for copy of construction schedule. I can go for this file. I can go for this file and then click on create. Once I create, I need to select an approval workflow which has been done. To select this workflow, I can maybe go for the demo workflow maybe. So the demo workflow will have the option for anyone to complete these tasks. So this is like, say, project folder demo workflow. So this is a problem because there is some folder which is deleted. So I'll just cancel this. Let me go for the other one. Let's go for project files, design development, work in progress architecture, and let's go for the same 3 documents and then click on create, and then let's select the test workflow. So now there is no problem over here because the folder which was there from where we picked up the files, that was not right. Anyway, it is saying that one person is going to review in the first step. There will be 3 people or more, or maybe 2 people, multiple people basically reviewing in the second step. And in the third step, the approver or the rejecter, or basically the people who have the decision-making power will be over here. They can approve or reject the try. So here, if I go to review name, a review name can be, let's say, architecture files for review. Of course, you may also have a very long code name as per your office standards to go for a review. And then you can, add some notes over here along with the files and then click on submit. So next reviewer is someone who can, Stanchu sir, he can review it and then I'll be able to send the email to him as well. But as a project administrator, I can take away the review, as in take over the review from that person in case that person is not there for the review at that point of time. So I'll click on open. This is the workflow. So I'm going to go for, so this is being created actually. So it will take maybe a few seconds. So meanwhile, what we can do is we can just go back to the files. Instead, we can go back to issues. So we had created a lot of issues over there. So if I go to the issues section, I'll see that there is a single data repository or a single place from where we can download or see whatever the issues are. So we can see that there are so many issues all across this project in various files. It will tell you which file has the issue. It will tell you which date the issue was created in and so on. And we can also export all of these things. We can create a summary report or a detailed report with the help of PDF or XLS. So I'll go for PDF and then click on export. So what it will do is it will generate an issue summary and it will give us the report of that particular project. We can also add filters, and then after adding filters, we can only opt for the issues which are going on. We can only opt for the issues which are actually present, which have been solved. They may not be there anymore. So all of these things can be done directly. Now let's go back to the reviews. I've already downloaded it. I'll come back again and then share my screen for that. So it's an open issue, the review. It's still in the process. So let me go back and then see the issues and reports. So I'll go back to the issues. So right now, the issue report is being created. So I haven't received the email as yet. Once the email will be there, I'll show you that. So if I go to transmittals, now transmittals is another part which is important. So transmittals is something when you create a list of drawings or files, and that transmittal will be sent to someone, and that person has the responsibility of either checking it or sending it to, you're sending something to site, that person is receiving. That is a kind of transmittal. So it is a digital transmittal. That means anything you have sent to site, like you used to do using email, and a list of those files appears. Similarly, this is also the same thing. So if I click on create transmittal, I'll be able to go to this folder and subfolder, which I want to create a transmittal of, maybe work in progress architecture only. And then I can go for selecting a few files, let's say these ones. So I can just click on create. So all of these will be created once I give the title of the transmittal. Let's say this is a transmittal for the Seaport project. So it's a civic center. And I'm just going to write one thing. Who will receive this transmittal? I can receive this transmittal. Maybe someone else can receive this transmittal. And I can click on save. Then I can scroll down and see whatever is there, which versions are showing. We'll do a version comparison as well. And then click on create. And once I'm being able to create this transmittal, this will be emailed to each recipient. So it's saying it will be emailed to each recipient once it is created. Now I've already received the email for the issues. So let me share share my screen as well for the issues. So this is the Autodesk Construction Cloud report for this. I'm going to download the report. And it will take me back to, it took me back to my Google screen. I'll just share in a while. Let me open the PDF. Yeah. So here I'm being able to see the detail or the summary of those issues. So if I click And all of these are the contents. Then if I see this, I can scroll down and each and every issue will be highlighted. What is the type of the issue? Who has it been assigned to? What is the root cause of the issue? When was it created? And what is the due date? Whether this issue is closed or open, it will be written in either yellow or, answered was, I think, purple. So all of these things can be done directly from here. And then when I scroll down, I can see that there are so many issues which are there. Now the transmittal will be created very shortly. Let me go back to reviews. Let me see whether the review has been created or not. Takes few seconds usually. Yeah, now the review has been created. I'm being able to click on the review. So if I click over here, let me just refresh. So this is the initial review. It is saying that I need to start the review. So these are the 3 files which I need to see. So I can start the review. And it's saying if you claim this review task as a project administrator, initial review 1 will be assigned to you. That's fine for with me for the time being. So I'll click on start review. And then after starting the review, I can add a few comments. I can just click on add and then add my comments. Like let's say this Excel file is good to go. Let's say this Civic Center, I need to check first so I can open this file. After opening it, I may want to review a few things like we did earlier on with the section analysis, measure tool, etc., etc. And then I can just close this. And after closing this, I can, add few comments that needs more improvement. I can be more specific with my comments. That's up to me again. And then the Seaport Civic Center, the CAD file, maybe this is fine. And I'll say that. Okay. I can also instruct the other reviewers to kind of check. So once my part will be done, I have to click on submit review. And then I'll click on submit. And it'll ask me whether I want to notify the other reviewers or not. So I can skip as well for the time being. Now, whenever someone else who is in the second review process will be getting an email or not getting an email, but they will be intimated that this thing has happened, then they also need to start the review. So this is initial review 2. And as a project administrator for this demonstration, I'm just going to start the review for them as well. So I may or may not choose to leave anything. So if I don't leave a comment, then also I can submit the review and then click on submit and then say that this is done. And now the final stage. So initial review 2 has been done by me. So now I'm going to start the review. Now start the review again. And let me just, add something over here. And then click on add. Initial review 2 is here. Submit, submit. And again, final reviewer is Sudhanshu sir. So I'm going to skip the email. And I can start the final review. Now, what is the difference between the final and the initial reviews? The final review can be, and the reviewer who is the final reviewer, he can directly say whether the drawing is approved or whether the drawing is rejected or whether the drawing is not rejected. Basically approved and rejected or approved with comments. So I can just say, okay, this drawing is approved because I read the comments. Maybe this drawing is rejected and this drawing is approved again. So depending upon the action set by us in the approval workflow, this will either go to some folder or subfolder, maybe from work in progress to shared, or it may, just stay there, but there will be a tag which will be saying that this is approved and this is rejected. So I can now click on submit review and the review process will be complete. Essentially, there is no lag when I go for creating anything over here. This other person is going to see the same things. 2 people can open the same file, work on it at the same time. There is no issue in that. I'll go back to files. And in files, I'll be able to see that in design development, work in progress architecture, I'm being able to see all the files over here. So the files which are over here will be saying that whether they are approved or rejected or approved again. And in the shared folder, if this workflow was for the work in progress architecture to the shared folder, then there may be some files which will directly come up over here. It's something like this is approved, right? This was approved by us. When was it approved? It was approved just now, and this was also approved just now. Some other files were already a part of the shared folder, and this has also moved from the approved version. So all of these details, who has last updated the file? I have done this at 4:11, 2-3 minutes before this. What is the size of the file? And other details, whether it contains any markups or not, what is the version of the file, everything is visible over here. Now talking about the revisions, that will be the last part which I'll cover before we take the Q&A session and the vote of thanks. So if we go for a version comparison, then we can go for any file which has two versions. So let's say I have a work in progress architecture folder where I will have various sheets or various, let's say, drawings. They may be sheets, they may not be sheets. So from here, what we can do is we can just see that this particular one, there is an option to, close these off. So if I click on settings and I don't have any information in the, let's say, number, description, status and revision, I can just close these attributes off. These are called attributes, and I'll be able to have a shorter, option over here. So from here, I can see which file has how many versions, and I can compare all the versions. Let's say I want to compare the version of this seaport architecture file and click on the V2 right next to it. That is version 2. Ideally, this is revision 1. So R00 is version 1, R01 is version 2. So this file, the first version was updated or uploaded by Pallavi on 7th of October 2021. And the second one was updated on 7th of October 2021 also only, or the first version, but there was some time lag. That means within this time, there must have been some revision. So I can click on compare version. What the comparison is, it will automatically take out and then tell us. So I'll click on compare, and then we must see that what is the basic difference between the comparison. It is going to take few seconds and then calculate that for us. So what is it saying? That in these two versions, there is, in the Revit file, the changes have been for the basic wall. There have been some basic walls which have been modified for the project. So maybe they were taller in height, now they are shorter in height. So it is saying nothing has been added, nothing has been removed, but 4 walls have been modified. By default, if anything is added, then we'll have a green color. By default, if anything is removed, then we will have a red color. If anything is modified, then we'll have a yellow color. So this is how we are going to see what kind of differences are there between version 1 and version 2. So there are a lot of other things to train. So if I see that there is this crown mark, it is saying that there are 3 published markups. If I see this mark, these are personal markups which are not published. They are for yourself to remember. So there are so many little things which we cover in training. So all of these things are there, but this was just a quick demonstration about how to do document management in ACC, right? Now what we can do is we can take up a few questions then, and there are a few questions in the question answer box. So there's one question that is there a way to link transfer the existing issues between the docs and the BIM track? So I would say that the docs is a different platform. BIM track would be a different platform. So no, there is no specific way to do that. And with docs, the advantage is that you'll be able to get the emails and all. Plus, you'll be able to directly mark the issues in the 3D as well as in the 2D environment. So can we create a PDF from the CAD files? That is auto rendition. So basically, the PDF from the CAD file can be created. If you upload a CAD file over here, then you can go for the print option. And from there, you can just select Microsoft Print to PDF or any of the PDF creator which you have in your system. From there, you can directly, go for a PDF creation. And from there, it will be directly done for both CAD files as well as for Revit files, whatever you see on the screen. So there is one more question which has already been answered in the chat box. So here it's saying that when we upload an updated file, does the old file gets overlapped or the old file remains in the cloud and a new file is visible there? So what happens over here is that only the changes get uploaded there. Therefore, it can, first it remains light, and secondly, therefore, it can show you the changes. So whenever we are uploading the file, we are creating a new version of the file as long as the folder is the same and the file name is the same. So if you have an architectural model, then the same architectural model, after doing changes, if you upload without changing the name in the same folder, it becomes V2. And subsequently, the number of versions will change. Now, whenever there are various versions, we can always go back to the previous version, even without comparison, and then make that, let's say the changes are reversed. Then whatever impact it is making on any other thing, that will get reversed once you make the previous version that file. And if you're using that previous version, then also you will be intimated by this platform that this is not the correct version of this. So these were a few questions. Pallavi, would you like to take other questions?
Yes, there is this one question that who can use this ACC utility, any subscriptions? So it is a subscription based solution that you'll have to buy. License has to be provided on your email IDs. So it's a single user based email ID based subscription solution for Autodesk Construction Cloud. Another set of questions, if I can see, are there any plugins or plans for plugin with other Autodesk softwares or even third party? So there is this thing, Autodesk Forge, wherein you can connect with other outsourced different party tools with Autodesk Construction Cloud for a more comprehensive set of working, which is another set of discussion maybe. So that is also possible. We'll still see if there are any questions. There is this one question which is, please share the costing process, subscription process. I think it would be better if Shitanshu sir would like to take up this question.
Yeah,
Okay.
hi Pallavi. So
Yes, sir.
regarding this question, I think it will be better that we understand what is required and can submit a proposal accordingly. But like rightly you mentioned that all these solutions are available in a subscription mode. So you have primarily 4 subscription options in this. So one is Autodesk Docs, which is purely document management. Then you have Collaborate Pro, which is more oriented towards designer. Autodesk Takeoff, which is for quantity estimators, and Autodesk Build, which is for the construction oriented professionals. So these 4 licensing are available, and depending on the organization or the project, then we can take this discussion offline, and commercials can then be discussed accordingly. Oh, there is one more question here, Pallavi, Abhishek, if you can take that up.
Yes.
How can we assign actions by date to the person who has to resolve the issue? And if we can have alerts at a specific time and frequency. So if you can take that question up, Pallavi.
Yes, sir. So I think to set the alerts, that there is no feature in this, but yes, there will be updates provided you on the platform itself. So when you assign somebody with a set of action date to them, so that information will be flashed on the platform, and once they have been assigned on that particular instance, they will receive an email that the responsibility has been assigned to them or an issue has been assigned to them, which they need to resolve. Alerts, they are not there in the platform as of now. That,
There's one more question,
yeah.
and Abhishek, probably you can take this up.
Right, sir.
Like, can we do federation of models in docs? So if you can give a slight information about how Collaborate Pro works.
Right, sir. So basically docs, in docs, we cannot have federation of models. The only way by which the models can be federated is from inside of Revit. But then there is another package called BIM Collaborate Pro, wherein you can upload separate and segregated models and then link them together in ACC only. If you have ACC subscription for BIM Collaborate Pro, then all the discipline models, including the subdisciplines, can be linked to each other. And by means of, having, of course, the Revit model has to be correct. That means they should have proper shared coordinates where the linking can happen properly. But the linking essentially can happen in ACC. But for that, you need the BIM Collaborate Pro package, including the clash detection and including any issues which can result from the clash detection. All of that is a part of BIM Collaborate Pro.
Thank you.
Mm.
So we'll take some more questions now. So there is one interesting question. So there's like while you were doing a demonstration, so you had initially marked an approval and rejection that is in my hand. But then were you able to give the final review? So I think Abhishek, you can take this question up, that in the review process, I think you did the final review, whereas it was assigned to me. So what's the reason behind that?
Okay, so what happens is project admins have all the rights to whatever the project members are able to do. Even though Sitanshu sir is also a project admin, he could have taken over that part from me as well. So it's like just like managing a team. If you are the manager, or if you're, let's say, the principal consultant at that firm, even if your peers, colleagues, or anyone under you, anyone even who is working in that same project is not present there, he has to go for a meeting, the project cannot suffer. So the reason this has been given is that this kind of flexibility is given is that they can take away that control from you, and then so that the work is not hampered basically. So therefore, any project admin can take up that responsibility of review so that the project does not get hampered and the issues are solved very easily.
Okay. So there are two questions which are connected to each other. I'll take them up. So one is that, is there any connector to import any projects from other platform? And the second one is that, is there any possibility of customized solutions for larger clients? And what's the level of customization which is possible? So to answer this question, within this platform, customizations are very limited. You can do a lot of configurations which are required, because the idea behind this is to make it as simple as possible to deploy and use it on an ecosystem. Otherwise, there are other solutions available in the market which can be customized and which can be used for each and every unique customer. But in this, it's more to do with within the platform, configurations are possible. But yes, this being an open platform, there are a lot of APIs which are available out of the box, which you can use to connect with other platforms or solutions or softwares which you're using in your organization to move the data in and out. So of course, these APIs are also being updated to have access to more information within this platform. But even today, so on the because this technology is based on Forge platform, you can read and write information and connect it to the other technology which you are using. Abhishek, one question you can take up, like how can we implement ISO 19650 processes on the system?
Right, sir. So the question which you have asked, I think this was an early during the start question. So the ISO 19650 or PAS 1192, those have specific workflows of how we are collaborating with each other and then working. So now there are two parts to this question. One part is ISO 19650 has a specific naming convention and naming standard, which can be applied to the folders and subfolders while we are uploading the files. If those files conform to the naming standard, then only they'll get uploaded, or else they will go to a specific place in the cloud only called holding area. And once we rename them back, they will go to the folder. This is one part. The second part, which is the actual workflow, work in progress, shared, approved, or record model, that part is actually in BIM Collaborate Pro. It is having docs as well, but it is not inside of Revit. When you go to Collaborate tab and then click on Collaborate in Cloud, from there the process starts. After that, there is something called in collaboration that is a timeline. The timeline is essentially when you have collaborated the model. From there, you can go for the shared and consumed folders as well in the ACC environment. So this was a brief demonstration or brief conversation for BIM Collaborate Pro. Although in docs, we can always create the work in progress, shared, checked, approved, published. Any of these folders can be created directly. Okay, so I think we have answered all the questions now. So I would like Satanshu sir to kindly give a vote of thanks and then end the meeting.
Thank you, Abhishek and Pallavi. Uh, First of all, let me thank all the members who are present on this call for this workshop. And I hope that we will see you on the upcoming sessions next Wednesday and thereon. So the idea here is that today we covered more on the overview and the document management part of it. But now Build has much more to offer in your projects. So starting from your project management issues, cost, schedule, etc., which can be leveraged now on one single platform. So with this, again, I would like to thank everyone for being on this call, on this workshop, and hope to see you soon. You may please also invite your other team members, colleagues, industry friends to attend this session. So thank you, everyone. Have a very good evening.